I had no idea the British press was so bigoted.
This one's wife. Scobie's crawled from under his rock. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. He's been fairly quiet recently, nursing his wounds after the justifiable criticism that he received for the purported leaking of the names of the two royal racists in the Dutch publication of Bellend Game. The book has not particularly sold well, and Scobie took a kicking, metaphorically at least. Undoubtedly, if he were to get a kicking, he'd probably fall to the floor, hands about his face going, "Not the face! Not the face!" Nevertheless, he needs to prove his worth to this one's wife, and he's crawled out from under his rock with his shit-stained nose from being wedged firmly in the derriere of the mistress to tell us that the Lilibet name row is not doing the Queen any favours. Well, here's some news for you, improbably named Plastic-Faced One. The late Queen doesn't give a rat's ass about what you have to think because she's dead. Furthermore, were she alive, she wouldn't give a rat's ass about what you have to state because you are an insignificant individual who is just there to peddle the propaganda of this one's wife. Jennifer Newton writes in the Mirror, "This one's wife's so-called mouthpiece has hit out at new claims surrounding the naming of her and Prince Harry's daughter Lilibet. It has been claimed that a royal aide said the late Queen was as angry as I'd ever seen her after the Sussexes said they had her blessing to call their daughter Lilibet. Royal author Robert Hardman, in his new biography of King Charles, tells how a member of staff recounted the former monarch's apparent fury following Harry and this one's wife's announcement in 2021 over the use of her childhood family nickname. A spokesperson for Harry and this one's wife insisted at the time that the Duke spoke to his grandmother in advance and would not have used the name had the monarch not been supportive. However, Hardman writes, one privately recalled that Elizabeth II had been as angry as I'd ever seen her in 2021, after the Sussexes announced that she had given them her blessing to call their baby daughter Lilibet, the Queen's childhood nickname. He added Buckingham Palace rebuffed attempts by Harry and this one's wife to confirm their version of events. But now, royal author, the improbably named plastic-faced Lieutenant Omid Scobie, who co-authored Harry and this one's wife's glowing biography Finding Freedom and recent controversial royal book Bellend Game, has said none of the new claims about the name Lilibet are doing the late Queen any favours. Oh, thank you for that, Scobie. We need you to weigh in, because you are the arbiter, aren't you, of all matters of taste and discretion. That you bring your expertise as a man who has lied about his age and has lied about using a private jet. So we're really going to pay due regard to what you have to say. The only thing that we pay due regard to with regard to you, Scobie, is the fact that you are there as the lieutenant of this one's wife, a deluded and dedicated supporter of a narcissist, who you sponge off by way of making some form of living by utilising a favourable approach to everything that she does and feeling the need to stand up and support her in instances such as this. Naturally, Scobie fails to realise this just makes him look all the more ridiculous. Not only does his physical appearance invite scorn, but the crap that comes out of his mouth multiplies that. Taking to X, he wrote, "None of these Lilibet revelations are doing the late Queen Elizabeth II any favours. Not only do they contradict details shared by the palace with a cooperatively written biography in 2022, they also depict the monarch in a way the public haven't known her to be." In the photo that accompanied his post, he shared pictures of press coverage from another royal book, Elizabeth, an intimate portrait by author and Gogglebox star Giles Brandreth. In his book, Mr. Brandreth wrote, according to the Queen, Harry told her the Sussexes wanted to call the baby Lilibet in her honour, and she accepted their choice with good grace, taking it as the compliment it was intended to be. Others in the family found the choice bewildering and rather presumptuous, given that Lilibet as a name had always been intimately and exclusively the Queen's. Later the Queen said, I hear they're calling her Lily, which is very pretty and seems just right. Lilibet was first used when Princess Elizabeth was just a toddler and unable to pronounce her own name properly. Her grandfather, King George V, would affectionately call her Lilibet, imitating her own attempts to say Elizabeth. The sweet nickname stuck, and she became Lilibet to her family from then on. Harry and this one's wife's youngest child, now a princess following the accession of her grandfather, was born in California on June the 4th, 2021. She arrived 2 months after the death of Prince Philip, the late Duke of Edinburgh, in the wake of controversial claims levelled at the monarchy by the Sussexes in their bombshell Oprah interview. Once again, this demonstrates the role that Scobie has. That whenever there is criticism of this one's wife, he is motivated to defend her. This demonstrates his lieutenant status. Lieutenants of narcissists are invariably useful idiots that are there to carry out the wishes and demands of the narcissist. Sometimes they are occasioned to do this as a consequence of the use of reward or threat from a narcissist. I need you to do this or else, or if you do this for me, I'll give you this. But more usually, the individual who is the lieutenant is enthralled to the narcissist. The narcissist has seduced them, sometimes sexually, sometimes in a non-sexual method, so that they look upon the narcissist in a way whereby they regard the narcissist as amazing and wonderful and cannot see any of their faults. Accordingly, having been brainwashed this way, when the narcissist is under attack, criticized, faces disapproval, the lieutenant is motivated of their own volition to ride into battle on the behalf of the narcissist, tearing down detractors, criticizing those that have thrown criticism at the narcissist. Lieutenants can come from all manner of different places. Often the intimate partner primary source of the narcissist themselves is utilized as a lieutenant, but they're often drawn from friends, from family members, from colleagues, and in this instance, an individual who has made a living toadying to this one's wife and Harry, and therefore, having nailed his colours to the mast, has no other option than to continue to support this one's wife, and he has done so once again. After having been quiet, he's felt the need to crawl out from under his rock and throw his comments into the ring in support of this one's wife. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.